So where we get into difficulties with our modern bodies, we're all tight and stuck and we forget how to move because we just do the same movements again and again. So today, we're going to play, aren't we, Bailey? Bailey's very happy about this. Shall I just move out of the way and just let Bailey teach this morning? So today on our journey, we are working with the element of sun or fire. And that would usually mean like fire in our belly. We work with a strong core. We kind of get lit up a little bit. But when people often think about core work, they're thinking traditional movement practices would be, let's hold a plank for 2 minutes. Like, how useful for that is in modern life? Not much. But what is useful, and I've taken inspiration from today's practice, not just from Bailey here, but from something we did yesterday when we were coming down from up the hill and down through the wild woods, and we're losing our footing. And we're having to get up and down from the floor quite a lot. And that's really the secret to a movement practice, which is for longevity. It's like how, for me, I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet until the end. And how smoothly can we get up and down from the floor? Say when we've fallen, can we get back up from the floor? And as we get older, this becomes more and more important. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to introduce you to some core work, which comes from a sense of play, which is going to help you just have a natural, functioning and free body. But we're going to start, if you're comfortable with the legs crossed, sit with the legs crossed. If not, you can find any comfortable position. We can just hang out like this with the legs in front. But we're going to start with grounding, just revisiting what we did earlier on in the week. So we're feeling our sit bones and our connection points to the earth. And so in my style of movement flow, there's no poses, there's no it needs to look like that. We are trying to just get our bodies back into their natural state. So we're going to just start to circle round the sit bones, not with the intention of making a circle, but just to kind of check in. How are you today? How's your body feeling? Any aches and pains from yesterday, if you joined me yesterday? Yeah, a few little bits and pieces. So let's see if we can get rid of those aches and pains without having to force the body into stretch or any kind of movement, but just by simply restoring natural movement. Bailey moves. So, are you going to be there the whole of the class? Just to add this new different element in to move around you. So as you feel where your sit bones connect to the earth, maybe you want to close the eyes as well. And just allow the body to spiral naturally, with no force. How do we know we're not forcing? Not only do you want to be able to maintain a smooth breath, but also to maintain a smile on your face. My only rules for the class are make sure you can breathe and make sure you can smile. If you can't do any of those things, you're going too hard. So let's change over the cross of the legs, just starting gently. And we use this as an ancient practice, but it's a very good one just to open the movement practice, just to feel your body. Where am I now? How am I feeling right here, right now? Not forcing anything, but being okay with, okay, I've got that little niggle there. You don't force it out, you just breathe into it, you work with it, you're just aware of it. Another useful technique that we can learn from animals as well as play. From animals and children, who are the best yogis in fact, is to adopt the mindset of curiosity. So if you've got aches and pains, bits and bobs of restriction, you go, oh, that's interesting, and then you leave it there. Just curious and playful. So we're going to come to a stop now and just start to release the body in a different way. Just taking the hands behind you, don't be afraid to come off the mat. Plant the feet on the floor in front of you. We're just going to gently rock. So this is one of the ways we just restore natural function. There's the curiosity right there. What on earth are you all doing? And then maybe after this rocking, we've got a little bit more movement. Maybe you can just take the legs a little wider and then just kind of explore. I'm not going to tell you where to put your hands or to how far to go. The practice is tuning in and going, how can I make this feel good? That's what you do, isn't it, Bailey? How do I make this feel good? How do I maintain that happy tail wagging all day? How can I get into different positions so I can relax? So let's have a little play around with this. I assume that's yours. So we're just going to tuck this leg under, so the side facing this way. Tuck this leg over and take the other leg over the top. Yeah, and then we're just going to rock. You see, when we move in this way with curiosity and playfulness, the body naturally restores function. If I'm going to go, oh, let me get into my biggest twist there, the body tightens. So we coax the body gently. And then we're going to change over the legs. And then we're gently coaxing the body. And then we're seeing what it's like just to switch legs. Yeah, we're just playing. You don't need to follow at my pace. Just get curious in your movement about how you switch legs. So if there's an intention, if there's a goal, if there's an aim, it's just to be able to see all around you. And let the body kind of figure out, as if it's a physical puzzle. Oh, that's interesting. When I do that, oh yeah, I can see all around me. There we get natural function restored. And then when we slow it down, and we're going to turn towards that way, slow it down, we can then get curious about, if I was to want to get back up from the floor, how would I get there? And it's generally same principles as if you're climbing, so you've got the back hand behind, you'd have 3 points of contact. So there, maybe you start to feel the core has to work, the deep core has to work to lift you. And we can change over sides, just notice what's happening. We start to get more range of movement. We start to open up without force. So this might be called, this class today, like a primal or animal flow. Just inspired by natural movement rather than shapes. And it's great if you've got any niggles, you're recovering from injury, or you've got something like chronic fatigue, or just, you know, struggling to get up in the morning. This is a way that you're not going to burn out. So let's get curious now as we go back over that same way. I'm going to call that way north. What would happen next as we come up to this little lunge here? We get curious, we can look around, we can take the hands to the floor and then just move around. So there's no shape to attain. There's just a, from this position halfway up, how do I clear all this stuff out the way in order for me to come up. So I'm just going to come the same way here as you. So from here, and it doesn't matter which leg you've got in front. I'm then getting curious and I'm going, okay, how do I come up from here to standing? So again, I'm thinking 3 points of contact, hand down, and here we go, we're at standing. Yeah, how did I do that? You've got one leg in front. You know how many people like go and train really, really hard and they cannot get up and down from the floor? We had a masterclass yesterday in people that move really well and naturally and will fall down and get back up really well. 3, 4 beings, not forgetting you were the best, no problem. So how are we getting up from here? It requires core. You need to lift your head where you're going and then you come up. And then here we are. And we're getting curious. So you can turn and face. From here I'm just turning around. And so then I'm back up to standing. So from standing I'm thinking, okay, how do I get down from here to the floor? And the key is smoothly. So I'm maybe going down into a little squat. I'm using a technique called stacking. They use this in things like gymnastics. Stacking shoulders over the joints, gravity's taking effect. And I'm just going to take this hand, my south hand, down to the floor here, just on the fingertip. And then I'm just bringing this leg underneath, and here we go. We're back to seated. Just hanging out here, rolling a few dice, banging a few drums, sitting around the fire. Okay, let's switch over the legs. So we're coming up on the other side. We're just getting curious. So you've got the other leg in front, whichever way round you are. Just try. You'll feel one side's easier. So I'm just getting curious. Like, notice what it takes for you to come from seated to here. If it's easy, if you need a hand, use a hand. But if it's easy, do it without hands. You know, a real test of our function is how well we can go from lying down to standing up. Now, if you can do it without hands, that's the final progression. So from here, we're coming up to a lunge. We're moving around. We're getting curious. For me, what we were doing yesterday, you know, we were out in nature, so near Castaway, we're down in Gromin Dolach. We did a walk, we came back through the wild. That's probably more yoga than what a lot of people are doing on mats. I know I'm on a mat, but we don't necessarily need one, do we, Bailey? So now we're getting curious, how do I come up from this lunge to standing? So I've got 3 contact points. Back toe tucked, I'm coming up, can come up back through, up through a squat, and then I find my feet again. I take a look around. So we want to be able to see all around. And then I'm going, how do I get back down? Stack, hand, and down. And here we are. Okay, are we feeling a bit more adventurous now? Shall we? Let's go down to the floor. Let's take a little journey back to, I mentioned that babies, we were natural yogis when we were babies. We had the best movement. So what were we doing? We started off in our cot like this, and then we're kind of like, oh, there's a little mobile up there. I'm going to just wave my legs around, have a little play. I'm rocking side to side. I'm just exploring and just getting curious. And maybe, oh yeah, I can reach up and tickle one toe. You know, babies could do this really naturally, couldn't they? But what happened next? Our natural progression was, oh, what's that up there behind me? So just, you look up behind you, then you're thinking, you're getting curious, oh, there's the dog, I want to reach for it. So we started to be able to, we started eventually, it's in our DNA, to be able to roll onto the bellies. So can you find a way to do that now? Just roll onto your belly. Here we are. It's a lovely yellow butterfly just here. This all went right to the screen. And then we get curious and we look around. So you'll notice the difference and maybe feel the difference in the body. I almost don't like doing this. I'm not straining to make this my biggest hot dog in the world and hold it. I'm like just looking around. And the body's soft, so it's responsive. Doesn't mean to say that we can't get, all that mobility, but we're not straining to get there. We're just moving the hands around, getting curious. And then what happened? After some time, we started to kind of want to move, didn't we? And then all of a sudden, we're on hands and knees. And then we start to develop the ability to crawl. If you want one of the best core practices, crawl. So restore that natural function of crawling. And then, do we want something a little bit more? If you've mastered this, crawling forwards and backwards, let's have a go at something else. So, we lift off the knees and we get really bouncy and buoyant. So I'm not straining, but everything literally in my body is activated here. The strength, and then you can crawl. And we didn't crawl just forwards and backwards. We want to crawl around in a circle. And this is one of the best. You notice the difference. I hold a plank for 3 minutes. Great stuff. Super. Plank challenge. Tick box. Crawl around for 3 minutes like this. And your body's going to thank you. And it's also going to be super strong, super mobile. Not just in one position, but adaptable. And maybe there's moments that you feel, oh yeah, I want to sink a foot forward and get down a little bit more into a lizard and move around. I'm just giving you ideas as to how to move. But your best practice is you move in the way that your body wants to move. So let's have a little pause here. And from our crouch position, animals do this really well, especially cats. We crouch and we pounce. We're going to pounce 1 foot forward. And then from here, so we're in a lunge position. Now maybe we could do, nice little lunge for hold that about 2 minutes, but let's not. Okay, because what's going to happen, that's going to take you a long time to make any progress here. Instead, what we're going to do, wild style, is going to bring the hands to the floor. And then I'm going to invite you to move the feet, the body, in any way possible so that you can see all around you. Yeah, so you find your way in the movement. And a really great one to do that we lose this ability to access is the spiral. So again, 3 points of contact, return towards the sea, and there the body's going to love that. Yeah, so you turn towards your bent leg, you open out the foot. You see this foot here, just open it out. I can come sideways on here as well, get into the inner thighs. If I was to explain simply what we're trying to do with the body, it's like think of the body as a lump of clay. We hydrate it, and then we mold it just back in, we like massage it, mold it, so it comes back into its natural state. Okay, let's take a crouch back. And option is to lift off the knees and pounce forward with the other foot. And then explore. We're not forcing, you're just curious. How do I need to move in so that I can see all around me? So if I'm on a paddleboard or skateboard or whatever, you know, I'm not just strong, you know, here. That makes no sense. What happens if the wind blows or a wave comes along or a dog comes along? I just fall because I'm not adaptable. But if we get strong and we're mobile in all positions, we can even have a little kiss of the dog and still maintain balance. You are a delight to have in class. Yes, you are. Okay, let's have a little pounce back. Now from here, we're going to get really bouncy and buoyant. So we're going to plug down into the hands, and then we're just going to bend and like straighten the legs like that. So I'm not going, okay, let me give you my biggest down dog to start with. I'm making the body soft and elastic. And then we can walk the feet towards the hands without strain. And then just taking the feet side to side. Should we get low? We're going to stack again. And we're going to go really low. Look into the sea. Sorry if you're watching at home, you don't actually have the sea here. You've got the sea on the side. Start to lift up. Now we've got a bit more stability. So let's just move the arms around. Softening off the core. We forget this with core movement. Everybody just does plank. There's loads of plank and then wonder why they're walking around like this and with no spiral movement. So start to bring the feet a little closer together. One of the best ways you can also train your core is through balance. How's our balance? Okay, so traditional yoga, tree pose. What happens if the wind comes along? Falls over because you're not strong there, you can't get back up. So this is called dancing tree. Has anybody done dancing tree? I don't know whether I learnt it somewhere or made it up. Could be either. So we're going to stand on this north leg, this leg here, yeah? And then you're just going to imagine like sand pouring down through that leg, you know, like an egg timer, yeah? And then we're just going to explore just lifting that leg up. It's a bit like when we were surfing yesterday, this. Again, it's very linear. Movement isn't linear. So we're going to imagine, we're going to hold that leg up and imagine the wind is coming. Yeah. Oh, there's the Hugo. Oh, there's the Maestro. There's Bora. Tramontana. All the different winds in Croatia are coming. And then you don't follow my movement. You just... What we're trying to do, which is maybe the opposite to what you've done with balance, we're taught that, you know, balance and hold still. Actually, I'm going to invite you to throw yourself off balance. Maybe the fingertips hit the floor, because what we need in life is to be able to get back up. There's the work. So it's different. I might extend out and, I'll throw myself off balance. It's okay, because I've been training how to get back up again. And you might need this if you go on one of Didier's walks here. how to get up and down from the floor. It's loads of fun though. Because if you stay soft. Now, strangely enough, this movement, what it does is something very special to the nervous system. Kickstarts all the stabilizing muscles in the body. So this is actually one of the best movements that you can do to help you sleep. How's that for magic? Okay, so let's just take a pause there. Just find your feet. I'm going to invite you to close the eyes and just sense the difference between the leg that you were standing on and the leg you were just waving around. The work was in the standing leg, so what do you notice about that side? Maybe does the foot connect differently to the ground? Not just the foot, but the leg. How's the breathing? One side of the body to the other. Even the side of the face. Notice the difference. Let's open the eyes. Maybe this side's jealous now. Let's take the weight into that leg. So finding just your stability first. Literally imagine sand. And then once we've got that, here come the winds. That's actually happening in real life. Here today, we've got the wind coming, so allow the wind to throw you off balance. And again, we want to be able to see if you can cover as much space around you as you can. So while we're kind of freeing up this side of the body, this side of the body is stabilizing. So can you throw yourself right off balance and get back up? If anybody's done capoeira, we do a lot of that capoeira. It's like a Brazilian dance, martial art. And there's lots of this, and you look at them, they're so strong but mobile. Okay, and then coming back to a standing position. Then just on a soft body bounce, just to, as if just drilling yourself down into the floor. Let the shoulders go. So when you do this, I know it looks a little strange, but make sure you're not just going like this. This. And we'll do this when we go and get in the cold sea in a moment. I think everybody had forgotten that they'd said, yeah, we're going to do that tomorrow. You've not been in the sea yet? Well, we're going to do that. Okay, let's take a little spiral. And this we do in the sea as well. Warms the core. Just gets a little fire in your belly. And that doesn't come from, we don't need any more sit-ups or planks, thank you very much. We've done enough for a lifetime. We just need natural movement. Inspired by dogs, yes you, cats, and all the other creatures in nature. Let's come back to a stable position now. Just arms and legs open. Just take a moment just to ground through the feet. Relax the shoulders, face and jaw. Just feel where you are in your body, how it feels. And then let's just take a big yawning breath together. Breathing in the sunshine, literally, it's come out. And breathing out, bringing your hands to your heart. And from my heart to yours, good morning, have a lovely day, and I hope to see you same place tomorrow. We are going to go and get into that sea now. So, bye.